Pokerbrandon here. Let's talk about a live hand I played at the Gardens Casino in Hawaiian Gardens, California. I played a trash Jack-9 offsuit. And reason being is I was in the cutoff and there was one limp from the low jack to me. And my VPIP was dropping too low. So I was playing maybe one hand every 3 to 4 orbits. And at this point I was playing like one hand. Maybe it's been about 5 orbits of me not playing a single hand. So what I like to do sometimes is when I'm in position, meaning when I'm on the button cutoff or maybe even hijack, and I have like maybe a one gapper like this, like somewhat playable, I will open it just so that my VPIP can go up a little bit. That way, when I actually do get a made hand, my opponents will play and not just fold pre-flop. So I open to 12, and the reason I go super small here is if I get 3-bet, I'm just gonna fold. So I only lose 12 if I get 3-bet. But actually everybody folds back to the low jack limper, and the low jack limper will make the call, and then I go heads up to a flop with Jack-9 offsuit. I think one key thing that you should do as a winning player is try to let your VPIP not get too low. And you sort of want to find that sweet spot of a low VPIP, but if you open, players will not just fold to you assuming you have aces. So flop is Queen 8-2. And because my VPIP is pretty low, like one hand every 50 hands played, right? 1 out of 50, 2%. And because this flop is somewhat playable, I c-bet it. Sometimes I would just give up on, like, if I open a trash hand and I get a disgusting ugly flop with no equity, I'll just check it and give up and just play the hand out face up. But in this spot, I actually flop a gut shot. And on top of having a gut shot, I have my image as a tight player who may have a big hand. So what I do is I bet $12, and the reason I go about half pot is I'm not trying to necessarily make my opponent fold right this second. I plan on betting bigger on the turn or river if I pick up equity. So turn is a king of clubs and the low jack checks. I think this right here is a great card to now just take down the pot. I think it's a good card for me because you got to think that if you're in my spot, in this spot, you're the aggressor, you have a low VPIP, you're opening pre-flop, and what are you opening with? You're opening with king queens, ace kings, aces, kings, queens. So I pretty much have all the nuts now in this spot. And seeing as I could have all the nuts now, my range is big. Now as a bluff, I go big. So I bet 40, which is about a little bit less than pot. And now I just want a fold. So I still have, excuse me. Reason I go about close to pot here is I want folds. I don't want my opponent to continue. I just want to win this now. And if it just so happens that he does make the call, I still have a gut shot of equity, and I can still bluff the river if I have to. So he actually makes the call after tanking for about 30 seconds. River is an ace. He tanks for about 10 seconds and then checks it. And now at this point, I have nothing. I have jack high, and I gotta believe that jack high in this spot is just never good. The one thing I don't like about my hand is I'm blocking like some of his flush draws, like his Jack-9 of hearts, his Jack-10 of hearts. I'm blocking that, so it makes it a little bit less likely that he has a flush draw that he missed. And it seems like he has a queen, or maybe even pocket tens. So what I got to do here now, seeing as the river is an ace, is I just have to go all in. I have to bluff at this because it is GTO, I think, to bluff. Also, one of the things that GTO likes, I noticed, the computers, if you're going to start a bluff, the computer definitely finishes the bluff. And what I mean by that is if you're going to bluff on a flop or turn, I see a lot of mistakes where players just give up and they check it down after getting called one time. But you can't play it that way. If the turn in river kind of leads to a story that makes sense, Like for instance, in this spot, the turn was a king, which I could have a lot of kings, so I bet it. And the river's an ace, and I could definitely have now a lot of aces in my hand, so I bet that. I continue the bluff. I continue to fire because it makes sense. It's logical that I have an ace, or I have a king, or I even have ace king, or pocket queens, pocket aces, pocket kings. It all makes sense. So that's what I do. I fire my entire stack because giving up here is just a mistake. So yeah, so I bet out 136. Player tanks for about 1 minute. Got me kind of nervous. He was counting out chips like he almost wanted to put out a bet, but he ended up making the fold. And I think this is just a perfectly played trash hand. It's perfectly played bluff. I did get lucky somewhat because the king and ace hit on the turn and river, so it allowed me to continue my bluff and win. But yeah, so I'm Pokerbrandon. This was a hand I played, and I hope you got info. I'm out.